Then the boy asked, "Are you a man? Are you a human?" Buddha said, "No." Then the boy asked, "Well, what are you then?" And then Buddha's answer was, "I am Tathagata." I want to share this small story to answer most of your questions that I have received. Because today we are celebrating Buddha Jayanti. You can really understand Buddha Jayanti, I think, in many different ways. In the historical context, you can say this today is the day Buddha was born. And then of course, you Nepali people can claim, which you do right at the airport. About 10 years ago, I was giving a public discourse, and then a Nepali boy stood up, and in my book, my dedication was to Prince Siddhartha, the Prince of India. And then he said, he liked the book, but he said one thing he was not happy about the book. He said Buddha was born in Nepal, not in India. I got actually stuck a little bit. I was trying to fish out for a clever answer. All I could think about is, I'm really happy that you are not happy. Please, you guys must own this man. Till today, Nepali people have not come up with anybody who is brilliant. As brilliant as this man. You live in between two of the most giant nations, India and China. Not one, but both these giant countries bow down to this Nepali. Not for a few years, but for centuries. So yes, you must own him. So I was happy that he was unhappy. So in this context, the Nepali must celebrate Buddha Jayanti in a different way. But okay, now, but the Buddha, as based on the answer to the shepherd boy, we will understand Buddha in a different way, in a much more profound level. That, because the word, when he said, I am Tathagata, what he meant is, I am, a question is, what are you? I am Tathagata, right? So what that really means, and it's really difficult to translate this word, Tathagata. The word, both word Tatha is absolutely difficult to translate, and Gata also difficult to translate because it refers to both come and born. But we are not going to spend our time today discussing these academic. We are going to simply translate the word Tathagata as awakened one. So within the context of Tathagata, Buddha Jayanti, the arrival of the Buddha, arrival of the awakened, arrival of the Tathagata can be happening not only in Lumbini, not only in Nepal. This birth of awakening can happen even today, not necessarily something that happened 2,500 years ago. I'm now answering some of your questions. There's a question about how Buddhist teachings are relatable to the modern life and challenges. Now first I want to tell you this. The intention of this question, or the sort of the genesis of this question, I have a little doubt. Because the question seems to indicate, Buddhism, it's such an archaic, old-fashioned, some sort of a culture or a religion. How is this relevant today? In the past, during the Buddha's time, we don't have convenient straws. By non-seasonal fruit. Life begins around 8 p.m. I'm just to give you some image of modernity. Now we have weight of freedom. We are so free. It's so free. We have a weight of freedom. At least about a few hundred years ago, if something goes wrong, you can blame it to gods. Gods are now fired. Everybody is individual. We are free to do whatever we like. But when things go wrong, it's very hard to blame ourselves. But some of us we do. But it is really painful to blame ourselves. Modernity, right? These are the character of modernity, modernization. Oh, so many. I'm sure many of us here in this room, we are very aware of our modern life. Phenomena such as diploma, job, these exist now. Then of course, now we are going through the age of artificial intelligence. So in this context, in this kind of environment, how is Tathagata relevant? I would say more than ever, Tathagata is relevant. Because the word Tathagata indicates, Tathagata meaning awaken. More than ever, us, this generation, we need to value the state of awakening. Let's choose just one thing that we can awaken ourselves. Let's choose dukkha. We need to be awakened to the fact that we have a dukkha. I'm very sure many of you are very aware of the dukkha of actually pain and unpleasantness. Very sure. All of us, we must have problems, anxieties, etc. But not many of us are awakened to the fact that pleasure, fun, and happy, and abundance, that they are dukkha also. Even more difficult to awaken with is the non-pain, non-pleasure, just the neutral state. To realize that is dukkha is almost impossible. And if we can awaken ourselves to this, the fact that pleasure and fun and happiness is also a dukkha, we are really experiencing a small amount of Tathagata. Okay, when we have a headache, when we have a stomachache, when we have a divorce, when we have loss of money, when we have death in the family, sure, we are awakened to that experience. When we are having a good time, to really remain in this awakened stage of knowing that this is not perfect, that kind of awakening is difficult. Even if you have a little bit, of awakening, even intellectually, this alone will sort out your family planning, education planning, all kinds of paraphernalia in the. I was telling you about the story of a shepherd, and he sees this being walking towards himself, and he couldn't say word, "Who are you?" Instead, he said, "What are you?" There's a very important message here. To translate this into modern, today's language, I'll try. Do you have the word cool? Cool. He's cool. She's cool. That kind of cool. That was what was happening. The shepherd saw this cool guy, and he said, "What are you?" Instead of saying, "Who are you?" he said, "What are you? You are so cool." I guess the connotation of cool is, somebody who has an attitude, some sort of, don't give a damn about a lot of things. Someone who is not nervous, who is not fidgety. Someone who is not necessarily always checking the hairline or straightening the tie or whatever. Someone who is relaxed. That is why there is this question, what are you? Now, if you are aware of pain, anxiety, which most of us, not yet cool, but when we are having a good time, when we are being successful, when everything is going right, but you are awakened to the state that